Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and welcome back after some of the more technical discussions of this high-level conference. We really need to marry justice and tech professionals, but as much as possible, let's try to keep the language understandable, comprehensible. People-centered actions demands clear communication. I know it's not easy sometimes, but I'm sure we do our best. And now I invite for the wrap-up both Ronald Lenz and Frank Leyman to highlight the main topics of these debates. Ronald Lenz is Director Justice Accelerator at HiiL, and Frank Leyman is Manager International Relations at BOSA. Please take the floor for your analysis. What do you want to share with us? I got an expression in these later minutes that it was something was quite obvious what's needed to do to make happen. So that's a good starting point, I guess. But the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much. And we just came out of the session, so I'll try to wrap up and summarize in a couple of minutes what the main outcomes have been from the last 50 minutes. Also, things that have been shared in the other parallel sessions, and then hand it over to Frank. So here are some of the highlights. Let me get my notes. We started the conversation much more on trends and on tech trends, and I think the overall thing that came out is that, I mean, all of the innovators focus really on the needs of a user, and basically said, hey, don't underestimate what people can do themselves. The typical technologies that came into the discussion were obviously AI, big data analytics, deep learning, machine learning, typical technology developments that you see in other sectors. Also data mining. I think one of the opportunities that was discussed was that, especially now with COVID, everybody going online, you see the behavior of litigants doing the same thing. So actually the expectations of people just to go online, file a complaint, get a quick response and a digital court decision is not the future, that demand is now. When it came to barriers to growth, I think, and this came from another session as well, is there are two possible scenarios. Whether on the one hand you can have justice systems that become even more close to private sector, or you privatize many of the services, particularly civil justice. And does then the Bar Association take a more regulatory function? I mean, in the end, many of the discussions were really about how do we design a user-friendly value chain out of all of the services that in which public sector and private sector work together. I heard that we are not competitors from the private sector. We're all in this together, and we can free up capacity at law firms, ministries, courts, and so on. There was obviously we had discussions about regulations holding developments back, and something to be addressed, and also a call basically to foster more competition when it comes to with call for tenders, right? So maybe to create a little bit more room between the courts and the big IT companies. Let's see, what more do we have? Yes, there was quite a big discussion also on how to build a brand, how to make sure that you overcome mistrust. I think the mistrust numbers that were shared of people in France about not trusting justice systems and the importance of building new brands is definitely something to look at. And yeah, I mean, in the end, I think so. Maybe, Frank, these are some things for you to think about when you go into your part of the story where you can share. Okay, when we have all of these innovations, and you see a future where public and private sector work much closely together to deliver people-centered justice. What can we do to successfully collaborate and scale new innovations?
Well, Ronald, good afternoon. Thank you for the question. Easy question, difficult answer, I would say. I've been listening yesterday and today to a lot of very interesting presentations, trying to encapsulate, let's say, see if I could find one word that would encapsulate the common denominator of the main question, which is, what do I need to do to reach a people-centered eJustice? I listed quite a lot of one words, and I must say the choice was not easy. By the way, just a little remark on this word eJustice. I do agree with the Honorable Marie-Manuelle Letao Marquez, who said this morning in her opening speech that we should stop talking about eJustice and start talking about D-Justice, digital justice. So there's already one word to remember. There is one word that I think encapsulates very well this challenge of reaching the D-Justice in a people-centered way. And for me, the word is tactics. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, we all understand what tactics means. In this context, I would say it is the way to decide wisely on when to invest in which kind of technology in the context of digital justice. So that already is quite a challenge that is not easy to realize. But I've tried to make an acronym of this word tactics, just to encapsulate the most important words I've heard. And if we go to the next slide, I can try to explain you that. Yeah, next please. For me, tactics means there is the T from technology. So I want all of you who are in this justice environment to embrace technology. Yeah, don't be afraid about technology. I see when I travel around in Europe and in the world, I see quite a lot of justice departments who all have very good reasons why not to invest in new technologies like artificial intelligence, RPA, and so on. They are new, and of course, we need to master the technology first before implementing it or understanding where it could bring an added value. I consider more technology as a real opportunity. It's an opportunity where these technologies can help save you time, organize yourself better, have things done by machines instead of having to do it manually, and so on. So there's a lot of opportunities there thanks to technology. Secondly, I would say tactics with the A of aligning. Now, I know most of the European countries have already adapted their legislation to make sure that a paper document has the same value as an electronic document, or a paper signature has the same value as a digital signature. But I just put it here because we see new technologies hitting us at a faster and faster pace, and we cannot permit ourselves to constantly adapt our legislation because there's a new technology all of a sudden. So make sure that your legislation, your e-legislation is generic enough or future-proof enough so that you don't need to focus on that, but that you can focus on the services that you build. The third letter of tactics is the C of co-creation. For me, co-creation is so obvious nowadays. that you cannot work in silos when you digitalize a service, specifically in the justice environment. Yeah, we all serve the same customer or whoever is in need or is demanding justice. This cannot be solved separately just by your department. It involves and it impacts everywhere, everybody. So built in a co-creation format, collaborate together with all the stakeholders around the table. And that also means the one who is demanding the service as the one for whom you are building the service. The next letter is the T of trust. It is a consequence of the one before. If you co-create, then inevitably you will have a better ear for the demands and the needs and the troubles that your stakeholders are communicating to you. And if you respond to that, consequently, you build something that is good, and consequently, the service will be trusted. And finally, if it's trusted, it will be used. And isn't that the goal that we want to reach? So trust is very important. I've heard it this morning, I've heard it several times yesterday. The next letter is the I of invest. Yes, you need to invest in technology. There is a budget that needs to be spent. But if you look at the total cost of ownership of your services that you're building, you will notice that the return on investment, if I talk just economically, is always positive. Compare that to the option of not investing in technology, and you will see that the cost of ownership will be way much bigger than compared to the one of investing. My next letter is the C of citizen-centric. Now, in the breakout session just before this one, there was quite a lot of discussion about user centricity, citizen centricity. I think nowadays it's a no-brainer. Yeah, every service needs to be citizen-centric. How can you make it citizen-centric? Well, by putting the customer or the citizen in the middle, by listening to his demands and try to solve his demands. By also making it less technical. Think and work in the form of live events. Yeah, applying for a divorce or filing a bankruptcy. That's a language that the average citizen understands, and if he understands, then he is more inclined to use the service. Finally, there is an S, the S of simplicity. Now, it's the last, but it's not the least. If you digitalize justice services, I said in the beginning, using technology is an opportunity. Well, use this opportunity to simplify your existing services. Digitalizing is not just enough as a result. Take the opportunity to clean out, to automate things, to get rid of things, and to make it much easier. So it's only then that you will get the trust from those you wanted to use. And for me, uptake is the end result of a successful digital implementation. So for me, that encapsulates the biggest buzzwords I've heard yesterday and today around the discussion on how to reach this people-centered digital justice.
Thank you very much, Frank and Ronald, for your efforts. And it's not easy, we know, to resume almost 2.5 hours of debates. That's what happened. And presentations in just about 15 minutes. You did it. Congratulations and thank you very much. We remember, everyone, that all the sessions are being recorded and they will be accessible in the next few days. So you can rewind and watch all the debates and presentations. We are having now a break for about an hour. We hope you can enjoy time to lunch, chat with other participants, or visit the virtual booths. Please join us at 2 p.m. That's the sharp time for the resuming of this conference for the afternoon sessions. So See you in about an hour at 2 p.m. See you later.